Okay, everyone, thank you for joining today. We're going to go ahead and get started. So we have a great webinar for you today. It's Fighting Fire with Fire. So using AI-based security to fight AI-based threats. So in just a moment, I'll be introducing the speakers, how are threat actors using AI, who we are, who's Skyhawk, how Skyhawk uses AI to fight AI. So we take a proactive approach to CDR using a multi-layered AI, and we're looking at other aspects. And we have a case study, and then finally we'll have a summary, and we'll be taking some questions. So with me today is Asaf Shahar. He's our VP of Product. He's been working with product management for more than 20 years, specifically in security products. And he has more than 15 years in leadership positions and over a dozen patents. So very impressive resume, Asaf. Thank you for joining me today. And then myself, Jennifer Gill. So I've been high-tech marketing for more than 20 years, 5 years in security product marketing specifically, and I've had leadership positions at various companies. Okay, so what brings us here today? So how threat actors are using AI in their environments. So you can see this is leveraged from one of our blogs that's on our website that you can check out. And threat actors are using AI to get smarter. So they're able to execute more attacks that are better attacks, faster, and at greater scale. And if you look at the left-hand side here, you can see how threat actors are using Gen AI. So it makes them, they're able to improve their productivity. They're able to improve lure believability and more accurately impersonate humans. So, and we saw this recently in the US in November. A threat actor used AI to impersonate President Biden on a robocall. So threat actors are using AI in very sophisticated ways. Now, Skyhawk can't stop threat actors from improving their believability, but what we can do is use our detection methods to detect those threats within your cloud. And we have a more direct approach with the aspects on the right hand of the slide. And I'm going to pitch that over to Asaf to go through those.
Yeah, thanks, Jennifer. So we see that attackers are using AI, specifically LLM, to create more novel attacks that are more various with ease, with attackers that has less proficiency that can now, with very little knowledge, execute attacks that are targeting specific environments, and they are doing that in a very elusive way that try to go below the radar and avoid the detection in various ways. We see the rise of cloud incidents. There are many research about that that see much more cloud incidents, over 50 and even 75% increase in cloud incidents.
Yeah, thanks for that data, Asaf. Certainly great and important points. So you can kind of understand why threat actors are using AI, as Asaf mentioned, like they don't have to be as good as they were before because it just makes them smarter. And we see this through several examples. So there's a couple of ways that threat actors use AI. So we already touched on phishing campaigns. We've actually seen data points where it can take a threat actor hours to create a believable email for a phishing campaign, and using AI that reduces 2 minutes. So certainly makes them much more productive. And Asaf, I'm going to pitch it over to you to talk about the other examples.
Yeah, so we see the use of generative AI used in various and sophisticated way, like taking malwares and creating polymorphic variants of them from to avoid the nature of the malware detection system to detect these new variants. We see them use that in credential stuffing attacks that help them to guess credentials and then launch their campaigns. And we see all the novel attacks and creating new types of attack that basically zero types attacks that are novel. So making it hard to traditional cloud detection system and detection system overall to detect them because they are using new techniques that were never seen before.
Okay, great. So this is a problem, and we believe we're the company to solve it. So Skyhawk is led by cloud security experts. We have leadership from with a background with Dome9, Checkpoint, et cetera. We're a spinoff from Radware. Have a global customer base. Our technology, it's a proprietary agentless SaaS-based cloud security platform. And we support the major clouds as well as Kubernetes. And you can see we have some awards and recognition. So we got Stellar Startups from CRN, and we've been shortlisted for several cloud security awards. And this is the technology. So Skyhawk Synthesis Security Platform. So it's a simple automated threat detection platform, and it deploys in minutes. It helps you operationalize your CTEM approach with continuous threat exposure management. We'll talk about the AI-based autonomous purple team. That's our continuous proactive protection, which really helps you fight AI-based threats. Asaf, anything else that I missed here?
No, so primarily our offering is around cloud detection and response, and we used various technologies to do that, and we'll share our solution with you, the technology behind it.
Great. Oh, and just one highlight. So we talk about unknown unknowns, and that's actually a method that many threat actors have used specifically with AI to be successful. With our platform, and we have a blog on our website, and I'll be sure to send that out to everyone as a follow-up on how we help you find unknown unknowns. And it's really difficult, but our technology enables that, which is fantastic. Okay, so Asaf, over to you.
So let's start with how our cloud detection technology works. So it's a multi-layered AI approach where we are starting by mapping all the malicious and what we call suspicious behavior indicators by ingesting all the logs, the cloud native logs, and various elements that we synthesize together and look at them in order to find these malicious and suspicious behavior indicators. We collect all of these thousands on tens of thousands of indicators. This is not something that we show to or not alert on. We are then looking at all of this pool of indicators and finding the correlation between them. So not looking at each individual element, but how they are creating a story, what is behind them. So after we are correlating them to a story and have all the context, we analyze and try to figure out which one of them has a malicious intent behind them. Because one of the main hurdles of a detection system is that they are just flooding the user and the security teams with tens of thousands of this tidbit of information that it's almost impossible to go over and sift out what are the true malicious behaviors or malicious incidents from all the anomalies and things that look suspicious but are actually benign. So the outcome of all of this, if you can go to the next slide. So the outcome is that if we are starting with this tens of thousands of suspicious indicators. Out of them, we sift out the one that are looking anomalous, and then we correlate them into sequences and get the likelihood each one of them has a malicious intent behind them. And then after that, you end with a very small amount of possible incidents that looks very suspicious. Security teams does not need to go over the thousands of tidbits of information. We create this storyline of the incident, giving them all the context and the ability to do the triage and the forensics in order for them to quickly decide what they need to do and how they need to respond. So all of that gives you effective operational security efficiency that with a very small team, you can monitor a very, very large environment because the overhead of a system is very small. And when we are alerting, it's something that worth the time of the security team. One of the main pain point of incident responder is that they are working in a garbage factory. They all day what they are doing is just looking at these thousands of events and just removing all of them that are not suspicious, taking a lot of effort to look into logs and different portals to understand. With our system, they get all the incidents in one place, all the evidence in one place, with a very easy way to understand what happened and and if they need to do anything. So
Yeah.
till now we talked about our core CDR system, which is a proven technology that is available in the market for 5 years now, protecting tens of customers, and we proudly can say that over the years we protected our customers with tens of incidents, real incidents that they avoided. Now, till now, we discussed technology that is established in Skyhawk for many years, but then with the emerging technologies of AI and the use by the threat actors, we thought to ourselves, how do we improve our detection capabilities in face of all the technology that is available to the attackers? So it's a very old saying in security that in order to do defense, or it's not just cybersecurity, you need to think like the attacker. You need to have an adversarial approach. And there is an established methodology of the blue team and red team to check your defenses by looking on all the ways that an attacker would use in order to infiltrate your environment and then harden it. So what we came up with, saying, let's take the tools that are used by the attackers and use them in our advantage to create this red team that is looking and mapping all the attack surface, and then using our blue team, our CDR, to create the defenses based on the offensive side. So we create this loop between an autonomous red team that continuously scan the environment and improve our detection capabilities. And by that, we can detect unknowns and new and novel attacks by using the same technologies that the attacker are using. So basically, it's look like that. We are starting by doing a discovery of all the environment.
Sorry about that. I don't know why it moved.
So we are using discovery to get all the inventory, the configuration, the vulnerabilities, all the information about the environment, mapping the topology, and so on. Then we are doing the attack simulation. And the attack simulation is done on paper. So we are not launching the attack, but analyzing all the information that we have in order to show all the possible attack surface from the initial access point to the crown jewel or to the activity that the attacker would do with all the lateral movement. And then we are taking this simulated attack and using deep learning techniques, improving and adapting our detection mechanism in order to create the tailored solution per customer and detecting and creating specific indicators for attacks that are specific for a given environment.
All right. So Asaf, I'm going to stop sharing and you can execute the demo.
So we talked a lot on in theory. So let's see how. I cannot share now. Isn't fair?
You cannot share.
I'm disabled. I need
All
to
right.
enable.
How about now? Sorry about that.
Now it looks better.
Okay. Well, while Asaf's pulling that together, if you want to use the chat feature, you can ask questions and we'll take those at the end.
So I'm jumping here into our platform, into the threat detection part of things. So I'll start by showing how a CDR actually looks like. So this is a typical way that we show an incident starting from a specific user that creates this activity that in this case, it creates a new user with high privileges. You can see that we are showing on a timeline all the lateral movement that is being done. You can see all the different details that needed in order to understand what happened in each one of these steps. Another nice feature that we have is that we are looking ahead and identifying incidents that are going to target a crown jewel. So one of the traits of our system is identifying crown jewel assets and looking and identifying activities or sequences that are very likely going toward a crown jewel, and then we can elevate the level of risk that we see. So this is one typical way. It can be something that it's much more elaborate with a lot of activities. As you can see, we are correlating between all of these, even the ones that are harder to understand, the correlation between them. This is the power of the AI that we have. So you can see that it's very clear to understand what happened, what is the malicious activity that is being done on a timeline. You have all the information, so you know you don't need to go to different logs and portals investigated manually. We are giving you all the context that needed in order to do the trial. So this is basically our cloud detection system, the output of the cloud detection system, in how it works in a nutshell. Now jumping into the attack simulation. So if the CDR is our blue team, the attack simulation is our red team, and in this example you can see several attacks, possible attacks. So it's a simulated attacks. It's not something that happened actually, but a simulation of how an attacker would start from his couch at home, launch an attack against your environment. And you can see that we are showing you exactly step by step how he is doing the lateral movement in your environment, how he would do this lateral movement until he would get to a sensitive asset, and in this case do data exfiltration. So you can see the exact script that if you would run it command by command, and it's specific to the environment. So if you run it command by command, you would get the attack executed and the data exfiltrated. And we are using different techniques. Here you can see information about vulnerability. So the attacker is manipulating and using a vulnerability on perimeter assets for initial access, and so on. So by seeing these attacks, that possible attacks, first of all, you know what you need to remediate. So we are telling you what you need to fix in order for this type of attack not to occur. So this is the remediation. And we also provide means for you to auto-respond if such an attack were in place. So the idea is that you get a proactive system, not just something that is a reactive one, but because we are telling you that this is a possible attack path, we are showing you what you need to do as a response. You can set an automation knowing exactly what would be done in case such an attack would be detected. So this was a very short demo of the capabilities of our cloud detection and how an attack is identified and shown in the system alert, and the attack simulation and what you can expect as an outcome. Over to you, Jennifer.
Great, thank you. That was a great demo. So as you saw from the demo, we can really help you empower your security team. So and one of the things that Asaf mentioned, we showed the funnel and getting from all that information down to alerts. We've seen various market data that shows that security teams get close to 4,500 alerts a day in their SOC. And it takes 3 hours to triage them and figure out which ones are real threats and which ones are not. And 80% of those, or sometimes more than 80%, are benign activities. So when Asaf said, like, it's basically you're sorting through garbage, like you really are. And that's why having a platform like Skyhawk is so important, because we really provide a programmatic and proactive approach to your cloud security. We help you improve the efficiency of your SOC and alert all that noise, sort through the 80% of the garbage and tell you this is not important, focus on this. Help you mitigate new threats, including Gen AI-based attacks. And it's always aligned to your cloud. And I think this is really important because many organizations move to the cloud because they're like, it's simple, it's agile, I can spin up and spin down resources whenever I need them. Fantastic. When you have a static security approach, that's not going to match your changing cloud environment. And with our continuous proactive protection, we're continuously scanning your cloud to see, oh, there's a new asset here, there's a new path here, things like that, so that we can update our threat detection. So it's always aligned to your cloud. And just a quick case study, and this is available on our website. So one of our customers, Ibex, had many, many logs, and they knew that there was information there, but they couldn't really sort through all of that data. And they did have Amazon Guard Duty, and we can use Amazon Guard Duty as a data source if you've already made that investment. And it was funny because they're like, I don't really care to really find anything, but we'll see. So within the POC, and this was during the proof of concept, this wasn't in like the normal daily use, this was just in a couple of hours. They found an employee that was over permissioned. They were like, how is this person able to do all this? And it turned out that they had just given this person permissions, a relatively new employee, permissions that they shouldn't have had. So it helped them improve their internal processes to reduce risks. And so they are able to prevent threats with early detection, resolve issues with the evidence of the attack sequence, and improve their overall TCO by investing in Skyhawk with Guard Duty. So if you're going to be at the RSA conference, we're going to be there too. We're going to be in booth 2267. And very recently, we were shortlisted for many cloud security awards, best use of AI in a cloud security solution. And after you saw the demo, it's pretty clear why. And then Cloud Security Innovator of the Year, as well as Best Vulnerability Scanner Assessment Solution and Best Security Compliance in Enterprise. Okay, so I am going to stop sharing my screen. We'll jump over to questions. So you can put those in the chat or the Q&A. Okay, so people are using the chat, so that's quite all right. So what platforms do you support? So I can answer that question. So we support the 3 major clouds, Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud. And we also support Kubernetes. Will this webinar be provided on demand? So yes, it will. We have been recording the webinar, so we'll have it up on our website probably by tomorrow. So you can check back then. And one more question came in. Here we go. Can you support air-gapped, no internet or cloud environments? Asaf, I'm going to have.
Yeah, so currently not. Our solution is a SaaS-based, so it's basically running on cloud. So we need to be able to have access from the cloud to the environment.
Okay. And then do you have machine learning models at different architectural layers in the cloud? So the answer is yes, we do. So a couple of things on the machine learning models. So first, and this is some of the things that I just find amazing when I talk with our data science team. So our machine learning models are updated daily and deployed daily. So this does 2 things. One, It eliminates drift in the models, so it ensures they're always accurate. And the second thing is it ensures that threat actors can't reverse engineer the models. So many other threat detection tools will say they use AI, they're really pattern detection. And what happens is the threat actors like, hey, they're just looking for this pattern. Just don't use this pattern anymore. They can't do that with Skyhawk because the models are updated every single day, so threat actors can't figure out what they're doing. Okay. Here's a question. Which Gen AI model foundation do you use? OpenAI, Vertex, Bedrock, etc. I'm not sure if that's a question that we'll answer today. Maybe we'll contact you privately. That might be a NDA question, but Asaf, I'll leave that to you. What do you think?
So we are using various tools, and actually we are doing continuous analysis, and we published a paper way back that talks about different efficiencies of different models. And we are also using a technique that is consulting or using several AI models in parallel and training them in order to take a collective decision. So it's a mix between models that were fine-tuned by us and proprietary to ones that are open or provided by third party, and we are actually building this layer of using of Gen AI models.
Okay, great. Good question. I do get nervous when they ask about the technology. I'm like, I don't know if I'll answer that because I've been on calls with others and they're like, that's a NDA conversation. So I don't see any more questions. Don't see any more questions coming in. Who would you classify as competitors? Actually, one last question. So we'll make this last question. So in terms of capability, you know, we obviously feel like we're doing something really different. But I would say in terms of competing for dollars, you know, we get compared to the cloud native tools. So with AWS, you'd have to put together guard duty with inspector and detective and a couple other things, and you get something similar. Microsoft Defender has their cloud native tools as well. I don't know, Asaf, is there a competitor you might want to throw?
So there are these native tools. There are a CSPM or SINA platform that say that they have cloud detection. It's a very low level. The ones that are just looking for suspicious activities and flood the customers. So one of the challenges is for the customer to understand that what he's getting is subpar solution of a CDR, and once he sees the difference, it's very clear. So there are these competitors that provide these low-level CDRs as part of SINA platforms.
And I think Asaf, you've always referred to as like a path analysis. So one of the differences, and I've heard our CEO describe this very simply. So a CNAP platform will say, here's what might happen based on your architecture. Whereas in Skyhawk, we say, this is what's happening now. It's a low-level incident now. If you want it to stay that way, you need to act now. So you won't get that level of urgency and information with a CNAP platform. It'll be like, hey, here's all the things that could happen. Instead of like, this is what's happening now. If you stop it now, you'll prevent a cloud breach. So very, very actionable. So we'll make that the last question. So Asaf, as always, a pleasure to do a webinar with you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you all for the engagement and great questions. And like I said, we'll be following up with the Fight AI blog post, and I'll also send the benchmarking blogs that Asaf mentioned to the attendees as well. So thank you everyone for your time and attention, and have a great day.